Hi there, Cosmic Family. My name is Leal. The moon has just moved out from Pisces and entered in Aries, right now activating the conjunction between Saturn and Neptune in Aries. On the other side, yesterday, February 18th, the sun moved to the sign of Pisces until March 20th, when we are going to have the equinox. The Pisces season generally proposes this period of closure and endings of, assimilation of emotional processes regarding this closure. Because perhaps in the physical plane this occurred a while ago, but energetically we didn't assimilate that. So this is a moment in which we have the possibility to be in contact with what is happening inside in the mental and emotional level. On the other side, also happens that this is the first time from 2012 that the ruler of the sign, Neptune, it is not in Pisces anymore, which is its domicile. It is right now in Aries together with Saturn, and Aries is a sign of beginnings, of active and masculine force. So one of the most common shadows of the Piscean energy responds to escapism, evasion. And with Neptune in Pisces, perhaps with this tendency to imagine circumstances that are not corresponding with reality, the attachment to projections as we would like in reality to be, but perhaps they are not, or waiting for things to move in a magical way without us involving actively in our process. But with Neptune in Aries, could be the escapism through action. I am referring to take an impulsive decision, to choosing paths or directions that perhaps are not connected with the soul, but generate this temporary sensation that we can escape of something uncomfortable, or with the presence of Saturn that demands construction, patience, consistency, and the desire that the processes can be accelerated produces that in the end we are putting the focus, or we are taking paths that are causing deviations of what is truly important. So with the Sun in Pisces responding to this conjunction of Saturn and Neptune in Aries, some people are literally beginning new processes, using their fire for new projects, new forms of life, and at the same time, those beginnings are enabling closures in other spaces. So other people, this depends on the aspects that Saturn and Neptune are making. For example, if people have planets at the beginning of cardinal signs that like Capricorn, Cancer, and Libra, they are experimenting this in attention. So this could be that they want to close something and initiate something new, but there are delays, process of learning, challenges, or certain blockages that are common manifestations of Saturn, so they can align with that new that they want to create. But we have to remember that even if those expressions of Saturn are the ones that we like the least, in one way or another, they are always impulsing us to move forward from a place that is genuinely constructive. Because without those circumstances, whether if they are frustrating to experiment, we couldn't do it, because it is the passage, the path itself, the one that is showing us what we need to adjust, to limit, to put a boundary, or to let go of, and reveals information through what we are feeling, which is Neptune. This registration in a greater sense of awareness. I am referring that, for example, we could have this great impulse to do something in a specifical, and however we are not in contact, that there is this kind of blindness in these actions that are not allowing us to see the situations with a more unified perspective. You have to think about the ram, which is the animal, the symbol of Aries. When it runs, it lowers its head, and it charges forward. So Neptune in here could be do this registration, feeling if that what we are doing actually brings inner peace, if that we are doing is an initiative that possesses sense, if we are doing that because it's truly part of something that we need to do for our own self-affirmation in the world, or if, for example, we are acting from this impulsive, I don't know the expression, or from anger, that later could bring regrets. Or in its other polarity, which is more the expression of Saturn in Aries, if we are avoiding to make an action because there are fears of not being capable, of what could happen in the future, the reaction of other people, etc. So right now we have the Sun, Venus, Mercury that is going to be retrograding short in Pisces, and at the same time this strong influence in the degree zero of Aries. This is a season, as always, to enter in contact with our most sensitive and subtle aspects. This means going beyond what we are doing or showing and observing with which energy we are accompanying our movements. It is also a good moment to question our directions and the dreams that we have sustained. Perhaps some of them have been illusions that are right now dissolving, but that gives place to more genuine dreams that perhaps has true possibilities of being materialized with our actions. Could be a period to evaluate our spiritual connection, which is something that Pisces represents. If we believe that the spiritual is a book or a specific practice, or we are understanding that life and existence are completely spiritual manifestations of the infinite, and that our spiritual connection could inhabit every circumstance and movement if we are aligning with the highest intentions inwards as a practice in the daily life. And that in many moments we are not going to do that right. I mean, we could choose the action that is not of greater alignment because we are humans learning to remember that essence. But the times that we are not doing that good, we could extract something for our path and remember that the important thing is to always return to ourselves. Spiritual connection has not a unique form. It doesn't need the name of a dogma or a religion. It is not a way of dressing or a visual representation for other people. It doesn't need it from a guru or a person that is telling us what to do. Even we could share what we have discovered in our process, and that could serve for other people. Doesn't need from a ritual, an imposed ritual. And with Neptune in Pisces, we also learned that it isn't a way of escaping of this reality. That is more our childish desire of never experimenting challenge or pain. So we cannot, label a spirit, because doing that is actually limiting it. But in order to transmit what I want to say, I have to put it in words. So a spiritual connection could be inhabit all the circumstances that the path proposes in a constant and infinite deepening of ourselves. It is a recognition of which is our creative expression, the one that our soul wants to bring to earth, being in contact with the higher dimensions if you want to, but not to run away from the uncomfortable, but to observe from a perspective that could help us to unify what is fragmented in this plane and to bring light through our initiatives and interactions in all moments of life, to make the daily life something sacred. Thank you, everyone. See you in the next video. Ciao, ciao.